Okay, I think we can go ahead and get started. I think our first presenter is Wenzhi. Is everyone okay with that?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Right. Brian, Ali, is it okay if we start?
Yes, I'm sharing my screen.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead, please.
All right.
How to start?
Okay.
This one? Oh. Okay. Can you see my slide?
Yes. Yeah, we can
Okay.
see. Yep.
When
we're seeing your slides and your presentation, so it's getting split. The screen's being split.
Screen split? Maybe. Okay. I will turn my monitor. Is that okay?
Now we can see the presentation with your black help screen.
So, how about now?
Yep, that's good.
Okay.
Can everyone see the screen?
Yeah, hi everyone. Today I'm going to share my capstone project. Is a web application with full stack, and it's a food pre-order platform for saving the cost for customers and business owners. This is my agenda. I will talk about these items, and this is my problem statement. And because I found so many disadvantages of the current traditional online food ordering platform like the Uber Eats and DoorDash, so I want to improve the performance for customers and also save money for business owners. And motivation, I want to help the customers to save their time, because most of customer would work from home during this time, and so I want to so more and more people want to order online, so I want to do this one. And also another one, need to have the business owners to save the cost for the ingredients or some other materials. And the other benefit that they can know how to develop a full stack project. The background is the current situation is the people and the customer will over ordering on the platforms, and so it's cost some resources wasting, and we cannot control the order volume for the restaurant. So it's one background, and another one, because the business owners don't know how many orders they will have in the next few days. So this is another disadvantage. So I want to change this one. And another one is it will cost so many time when people want to order online. Because there's so many restaurants and so many dishes, they need to choose they will have so many steps to searching the restaurant and searching the food, and cause so many cost of time. And the keyword on my project is a pre-order and a resource saving, and also a platform. This is my related work, and I have 3 criteria, like the dynamic order volume, because the current way to order online is like a dynamic order volume, because people don't know how many customers will order the restaurants. So it's super random on the current applications. And also it will cause unpredictable problems. For example, the order volume in the next period. And my approach is to control the order volume. The other one is a pickup and delivery time. Because it's a dynamic order volume, so the platform cannot control how many delivery they need to prepare to different area. So it's hard to guarantee the ready time, pickup time, and delivery time. It's called the customer experience issue. And I will do in my project, the delivery can pick up one time at one place. They can pick up so many orders one time. And another one is a resource saving. Because as I mentioned before, it's hard to predict how many ingredients the business owner need to prepare. And so this is another one. My approach is I can get the total orders in advance, maybe before 2 or 3 days. The business owners will know how many orders they will have in that day. The approach, the picture is a customer side that people can see. They can order the food. One time they can choose a date in the future. Also in this week, so they can choose they can just slide the date and order what something they want to order. And yes, it's the key point of the approach. And this related technologies I use, I will use Linux and also a cron job and Git. On web server, I choose AWS EC2, and I will use the NGS. And also I added the HTTPS certificate, and I use the PHP and JavaScript. PHP is for backend, and the JavaScript for frontend. A database, I use the MySQL. It's easy to use and that keep the relationship very easy. And frameworks and libraries, I will use VLC, which is a popular front-end framework, and also use Webpack to package my front-end part code to EC2, and I also use a Tailwind to make my page better. There's a mistake here, and I also use the auth2 on Zero protocol to verify the user identity. And third party, I use Google Map. The Google Map is for applying the routes for delivery. And the Tailor, I use it for sending some verification code and some sort of message to customers. The other one use Aliyun OSS to store some images. That's it. The data collection just store the data to my the tables of the MySQL. So this is my tables here, and also use some mock data generator to generate some mock data or some fake data to make my application run. And that's it. And the data analysis is I have one page. In the home page, you can see the order trend for each restaurant. So I can see how many orders we'll have in the future all this month. And the time cost, I will do some dig in the front end part of the web page. So we'll see how many users or how much time they stay in the page, and when they first to see the page, how much time they will want to order this time or this day. So we will know which one is a popular dish for the customers, and also use we can know the customers some information collected, and also other metrics here. And the findings, the customer can place weekly orders at the same time. So I will see I will show my demo later. Also save 26% time when customer place orders compared to the traditional food order platform. Because it's it can save so many times for the customer, so it also enhances the customer experience. And for the business, it also can keep the ingredients more fresh and reduce the waste. The conclusion, pre-order platform reduce the order time for customers and also save money for business owners. Yeah, obviously. And for future work, I need to improve the performance of this application because it's just a single server application, and maybe I will use some gateway to process user requests to the backend. I can extend more machine to take it to a large scale request. And because I use it's actually a single application, a single page application, and so if I want to develop some mobile app or like Android or iOS, it's easy to use my existing APIs, like to verify the user identity or some use some other features. This is my key references. I need to show my demo here. This is my demo, and so I have the user can. This is for the restaurant, the business owner, so they can log in or log out, and also they can see the weekly menu here. Oh, what happened? Oh, weekly menu here, and also the next week. So the business owner need to prepare the weekly menu in advance before the next week. So the customer can see the weekly menu here. And now I also have another page for customers. And this is a dish list and customer list here. So you can just update and do something as well. And the most important part is the assembler. I think I just don't know how to name in the menu, so just use the assembler. I think in this part is so important. Like in this page, you can see how many users choose this day to eat. So yes, and for example, I can see the 4 orders for tomorrow. And in this part, I can do a customer side here. Like for example, this is one customer. I want to choose Friday to eat. Oh, I need to cancel this first. For example, I want to choose a Friday to eat. I can choose this one and confirm. So I will see. I need to. Actually, I need to delay this one first. I need to delay this one first. And this is for Friday. I can select. So I will see. I have a new order in this day. So everyone can, the customer can use their phone number to log in. For example, I use my phone number here because it's in my development environment, so I can use that's a use for this mobile phone. So I can log in and log out. And another one I can generate a assembler here, so you will see the detail of the order of that day, and I can see that's the total. The dishes they need to prepare, and another one can print to a PDF here. And because the PDF need to give the restaurant to prepare the dishes. And the other important one is can make a row here. So I can load the data here. Just put some user's address on this one. For example, this is my address, and so I can click the label here to make it to a different route. For example, I want to put this two customer to a one line. I can click this one, and also I can click the double time. So they will put a different route here. Yes, and another one I can print the page to the delivery guy. So I think that's a total my my project. That's it. I can choose a different style here. This is the home page for the customer, for the business owner to see their orders. Okay, this is just my presentation. Do you have any questions?
Great, thank you so much. Wenzhi, I have a question.
Yep.
What was some of the biggest like hurdles you had to come on when you first started? Like when you first went into it, did you have any background in full stack, or did you start from scratch?
I think I use existed the UI component, like for example this part. So I use I use open source for the
Okay.
UI.
But did you have any experience coding in open source?
Yes, of course. I coded all the backend part and the front end part, like the so many part by myself. And because I think I had 5 years work experience, so it's easy for me to develop this one.
Great.
Yeah.
So what was some of the most hardest things to do when you made this application?
I think for the application it's easy, but for the capstone project, the writing is more difficult. Yeah. Yeah, you need to write a research paper, and you need to find a lot of useful reference. So I think it's more difficult for me. Yeah.
Okay. No, great job. It looks really good.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions? All right, I think Catherine has a question. Here, you can.
Thank you. I have a question. Like, how long did it take you to build the whole thing from like, including writing your research paper?
Actually, it takes total 10 weeks because you need to take the capstone course class for each quarter, so it will take 10 weeks. But you don't need to take a whole time to write a research paper.
All right,
but
thank you.
Yeah, for the application, I think it will take. I'm not sure the time for the development. Sometimes you don't have the ability to estimate the time for development. Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome. Any questions?
Any more questions? Okay, I think we're good. Thank you so much, Wenzhi.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
And Baocheng is next. Baocheng.
Okay, so can you hear my voice clearly?
Yes.
Okay, give me 1 second. Let me share my screen. Okay, can you see the slide? Yeah.
Yeah, now we can.
Okay, so thank you, and let me hold on a second.
Okay. While you do that, Catherine, do you have a question? I see your hands raised.
I'm
Sorry.
sorry, that was from earlier. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, okay,
all
okay.
good.
Okay, so thank you. And hello everyone, my name is Baocheng, and I'm talking about my project called using Q-learning to train a machine for bullet searching game. And thanks for Sam and RM to help me to assign me to complete my project. So this is my agenda, and I'm talking from this 11 parts. So first of all, I love to play in the game. I'm a devout game player. So I love to play game, and sometimes people think that addition to game is not a good thing. But I think we can learn a lot of real world skills from the game. For example, if I play some car racing game, and I can improve my driving skills. So different type of game will allow us to train our reflexes. For example, to improve our IQ, emotional uh, intelligence, and so on. So similarities, since games can enhance humans, so they can also train for machines. So how does AI being applied to the game center, and can we make the AI to play the game? That is what I want to find about. So to finding this problem, I found some reference from the some resource, and I know that there has a event from 2014, and Google trained a machine to play the board game called Go, and this machine defeats the best human Go master in the world, which is living Korean. So I found that from AI using the gaming field, and it can be by training AI to play game instead of human players. Maybe then AI can make better than human plays. If this approach works, and then for AI can help human to do anything, according to the example that I mentioned before. After letting AI to play various racing games skillfully, and maybe in the future it can help us to drive the car. So so in order to achieve this ambitious goal, I decided to set a small goal first. I decided to build a small single player games, and the type of and in addition, I would try to train the AI to play the game I have built to get higher score. So for some key reference, single player game just relative to online games. Generally, it refers to video games where the main gameplay requires only one computer or one electronic device to complete, just like PS4 or Nintendo Switch, and where internet matchmaking is not possible. It is single player game, and the bullet curtain game, just like these images, a player can operate some object like plane to dog animals, planes, bullet, and shoot bullet to defeat them. So this is the high requirement for players' position and the movement skills. I think it's also for the challenge for to training the AI. And the machine learning is the one of the algorithm of AI, and the reinforcement learning is the one of the part for machine learning. I will talk it later. And the object-oriented programming is a very common approach to build a software that different from process-oriented programming. It creates a class for each project, and then when we are writing the main function, we just call the class that we have recreated before to complete the programming. So I will use this approach to making my game. And from related work, just in the terms for Python as a language, Pygame is the very perfect library for this to making a single player mini games, and many of the mini games we are familiar, like Mario or Contra. It can be reproduced by Pygames, and applying to AI from game fields. The application of AI in the gaming field include previous player-based compact AI. So this, of course, it is just one way to apply AI to in the game, and you have other ways, just like how to make robots or how to make enemy. That is not I want to talk about. So I haven't shown that. And for the reinforcement learning, it is probably trained along as the same lines as human playing the game. For example, if a human player needs to get a high score to be proficient in the game, then how to get a high scores, we need to like learn the lesson from the losing game from the last round of the fielding games, and that we can make better than before, play better than before. So for the machine learning, if certain strategy can achieve a high score in the game and is future reinforced in order to continue to achieve the better result. And this is include 5 key items like agent, action, environment, state, and reward. I will talk later. And for technology, I will use the Python for my whole programming language, and for Pygame to programming the library, Pygame library to programming the game project, and the method use the object obtained. And I use Q-learning. Q-learning is the one algorithm from the reinforcement learning. So I will talk to you later. So for data collection, I told before, for the reinforcement learning, there have 5 key factors like agent, states, reward, action, and the environment. So for the renewalized, for these 5 things, agent is the project or is the character that make machine need to control. So for my game, it is just this button playing, and the environment is the game process that need to defeat enemy plane to get points, and the action is to control the plane up and down, left and right, and reward is to defeat enemy and to get a high score. And state is the state that you are playing the game. And this is the very typical reinforcement learning scenario. And for this diagram, for this image, the agent select output and the action based on the observation of the certain states and the reward, which is turn effects from the environment and the cause change in both environment states and the rewards. So the agent learns how to get higher reward in the environment flow continuous cycle. That is the regular process of the reinforcement learning. And Q-learning is the value-based algorithm from the reinforcement learning. And the states at a certain moment take action to be able to obtain the expectation of the benefits, and the environment will be based on the agent action feedback. Corresponding rewards. So the main idea of algorithm is to build the states and the action into a Q table to score the Q value, and then according to the Q value to select the action that can obtain the maximum benefit. So the Q table is also the final training models. That is what I want to do for the training the AI. And this is the data collection. This table is that I have trained 5,000 times and record the result from each round turns, and plot this table through the data. It can be seen that this is maybe this part is the 1,000 times. First 1,000 training section can be considered as effective training, and the average level score is improved in each round from the 200 to maybe 1,200 score to 1,000 scores. But the next few thousand times of training did not cause very obvious result, and even a few times scored 0. Sometimes it can go to score. And the high score did not accept 1,400. For my setting, if you defeat one enemy plane, we just got 100 score. So, and for my difficult level setting, normal human people can play according very higher score, higher than that machine to play. So I found that first of all, we can let AI to play the game and use it and apply AI to the game field. And the AI really can play some small single player games, but it cannot able to play as skillfully as human yet. Maybe there's some problem that I have before. So to summarize what I'm doing for whole project, first, we know that AI is already involved in many fields, including like field of gaming, and people can train AI to play the game to improve the AI skills. And then AI games need to use reinforcement learning technique inside machine learning, and the relationship between agent, action, environment, reward, and states need to be used very wisely. And then Pygame is the suitable library for making games in Python. It's just in Python, and it can be used to make some mini games. So in the future work, I have 4 things need to be improved. First, need to refine the training model, because many obvious flaws were found in the table I showed before, that previous data analyzed needs to be correct, and trying to increase the difficulty of the game and add more versatility. For example, try to make enemy also fire bullets, or fire different kind of bullets and a different kind of enemy planes. Yes, and the third part is try to apply some same method to more single player games. Yes, because I think make this training idea a universal method. This is what I want to do, so that it can be applied to any kind of game, and try to apply to multiplayer game or online game, because as we know, single players games, we are facing the enemy that have been programmed. So it is easier to judge the future action of the enemy. But if we play the online game, we will face the real human enemy from the internet. So we cannot predict the enemy action, which is another very serious challenge from training AI. So that is 4 part if I'm continuing to do what I want to do. So this is my key reference, and yeah, I will show the demo. Yeah. And by the way, I have updates from the GitHub and the YouTube, and you have the very details to show my demo. So I'm just running 2 things. First is the game that without AI is this part. This is the certain bullet game I have make it. If I control the button left and right, up and down, and and if I defeat the enemies, it have scores in this side, and if I defeat, it will show the final score. And this is the training Q table. That is the final training models. And this is the, I have said, this is the game program with the AI. I haven't touched anything, and it will play by itself. Yeah. So for the details for my what I do, I will put it on the YouTube link, and it will show the more and more things. So that is that's all. So if any questions.
Great job. Thank you so much. Are there any questions? I saw somebody's hand was raised. It's gone now. I think it was Catherine. Do you still have a question?
Oh, I'm sorry. That was from earlier. I haven't.
Okay.
No, I don't have any other questions.
Okay. Does anyone else have any questions? Yang, I see you sent something in the chat, and I'm not able to read it.
I just remind him the time limit.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You
Oh,
still.
sorry. Yeah.
Yeah,
I just saw that.
okay. All right. I have a question. So, did you find your training model online, or did you create your own training model?
Training model. I have created a function that how to train the model, and it will run maybe 5,000 times, and it will create the model by itself from the local computer.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, if there are no more questions, let's move on to Yang, our last presenter for the day.
Okay.
Yang, it's all yours.
Thank you, Sakshi. Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Is my screen no more and clear for all the audience?
Yes.
Yeah, today, thank you, Sakshi. Today we are going to introduce my capstone project. In my project, I aim to design a Java web application, and in this case, I was using Spring frameworks, including Spring MVC, Spring, and MyBetas, and Spring Boot in the final project to achieve a more efficiency approach to do a Java web application development. Here is my agenda. Firstly, we will have to see the program statement, motivation, background, and related works. That's the preparation for this project. And then in the middle of this presentation, we were going to introduce the approaches, data collections, and data analysis. Those are the ways and the designs for this project. And then for the final part, we were going to see the findings, conclusion, and some future works for the future designs. And then also in the end of this presentation, we will see the key references and to read and we will leave some time for the QA section. Firstly, the program statement. The first thing is to say some students and the developers of the Java website application, they just find a very efficient and essential tools that called Spring and Spring Boot, and also from the papers of Java Lucky, said that the Spring just provide a relatively and faster and broader introductory experience for the all Spring development, and offers a range of non-function features for the configuration nodes. So in these sections, my program is to say how to achieve it and how we can get a efficient way to save the time and boot up the development efficiencies of the developers while doing the Java website application development. So for the motivation of this work, I have also mentioned. So I want to use some technologies of the Spring to show how we can work it more efficiently. So firstly, we are going to know what is the web application development based on the SSM. SSM stands for the Spring Boot, and the Spring MVC, and the might be the three essential components for the Spring-based web application development. We can see in the figures, we can see from the user side, we can see the users send the applications and the requirement to the clinics, and the clinics can obtain the data from the database. So the logic of the website design is totally the same with the traditional one. So how we can code to use Spring to simplify and to make our work efficiencies by the Springs. So let's move. So from the related work, we are thinking how the Spring frameworks and Spring Boot can work with us and can simplify our works. The first in the graduate paper, he said the configurations varies which depends on the databases, and the dependencies will show later on the demos will lead us to say when you are entering the dependencies during you are working on the Spring based website application development, you will see you only need some dependencies. You don't need to set up the environment. So this thing is also happening to the database in the papers of Javalik and Jadik. It said connect with the database. Redis is an essential tool. So the databases in the sections we are choosing the MySQL because it's totally open source and easy to use, and the Redis is helping us to catching the cookies to store the data. To catching the cookies, it's in this case, to using the Redis, we can allow the data it's not to storing all the data in the database, but it's just keep for 1 day or something. So it will not give the database too much pleasures. So in summary, the related work gave us this is a considerable signification here, because in the case of standard Spring frameworks, the configuration varies, depending on the databases or other things and the dependencies. So we will show the details about the results from the related work. Firstly, we can see the Spring frameworks, it contains the core containers. The core containers also contains the core technologies of Spring Boot. It's called IOC inversion of the controls. So during the traditional development of the website applications, we need a lot of objects. So every functions we need objects in that functions. So when we want to alter the functions of the website, we need to alter all the objects, but the core containers provide a fake or some provide more mimic objects for the functions. So you just need to alter and adjust your functions by with the mimic object. You don't need to alter all the things. So the Spring will help you to configuration all the rest of the works. So you don't need to worry about where something you lost in the functions and the objects is not altered. So the approaches. So in this time we implemented the SMFS frameworks first. So and then the Spring gives us a simpler ways of the development, and the Spring Boot just accelerate it. So those two tools, one is to simplify and one is to make it much faster. And the databases use the Redis and the MySQL, and helps us to get to obtain the data and to store the data is much easier. But all the tools can be connected with the Spring, so Spring will finish all the configurations automatically, so you don't need to worry about the environment or other things. So it's much easier for the new developers to work with the website Java website applications. Then this is the basic functions of traditional Java website application development. Firstly, we can obtain the data and enter the requirement in the UI or user's interface, and the Java's programs, also called client, will can handle with those requests and the data signals, and to connect with the databases to obtain the data that is stored or something for the registration for the to give the assist to the users, to give the aimed or require the pages to the to the users. And then, but with the SM frameworks, it will totally change. Everything is dynamic, and Spring will control all the things. You don't need from the user side. You just all the things rendering to the users, and after a request, the users can obtain it directly, and the frameworks contact controls all the objects. So you from the databases. So you don't when the users recreating the frameworks will handle with all the requests. Let's see the basic functions or the designs of this using Spring Boot. You can see this. You can see this Spring frameworks just only a small part of the whole designs. It also connect with connect with more other technologies with the database and with the front end technologies like the Vue and JS. Or so the Spring Boot is enzymist to accelerate and make all the things faster and easier. So for the data collections, we can see the Redis configurations. It can give us a much easier ways in the because we designed online shopping malls programs in this project. So the cart will store some products you want to buy, but maybe in the end of the shopping you will not buy it. So it is temporary data. It should not to stored into the databases. So Redis helps to solve these questions. So it will all the things will be stored there instead of the databases. So you can set up and configure it all the things you want for your website. So you can done it with the Spring frameworks. You just need just a simple words. So you don't need to set up or install the Redis for the independent aims or purpose. This is an examples of using the Spring Boot. So when you are wanting some functions, you just aunt the functions and declare it. The Spring Boot will automatically give the necessary configuration to the applications. You just need to write 2 or 3 lines of the code to finish all the functions. We will show some details later in the coding and the demo functions. And the logic functions can be shown here. You just need to aunt the override or something you need to use. All the things will be automatically configured. For the data analysis, users diagrams. That is to show what data and what kind of data we use in the databases. We can see the databases here and the orders. For the fundings, the most thing we find in this project will work with the Spring Boot. The Spring frameworks gives us a simple ways to do the Java website development, but the Spring Boot gives us possibilities to accelerate all the procedures of the development. And compared to the traditional Spring frameworks, so it reduces a lot amount of the spent by the developers and managers the dependencies. So Spring Boot gave us a much faster experience in the developing. For the conclusions, by using the Spring frameworks and the product of the Spring framework Spring Boot, it gives us a thinking of how to make it easier and how to use it. But we still have the questions of it while using the frameworks to do a Java website development. So all the things has been automatic medical configured. So when you just want to design some functions as you wish, or something is not installed in the Spring frameworks, because the frameworks was designed by someone, so someone might be not to include all the things you want. So that is the biggest disadvantages of the frameworks, that maybe something is not covered you want used in it. But it's also not a question, because when you are decided to using some frameworks, just to check is there all the tools supported by it. Here is the future works. So in these sections, we can see our website have the basic functions. In the future, we will have more, more functions, like the maybe to suggest or to connect with, using the Spring Boot to connect with the data learning, the machine learning or data analyze to suggest some products to our users, or the more website applications can be added into the website, like the speaking, like the intelligence bot agent to automatically respond to questions from the users. Here's a key reference of our project. So let us go to the website. Firstly, we can see this is my video. Firstly, we can see, if we want to go to the login pages, we can see enter your, I have already have one account, then you can log in. When you log in, it will show it's successfully logged in. And when you didn't have the account, you can go back to for the registration. When you just clicking some and double enter your password, but this username and is already registered, so it will be show 4. So just log it. We have the like functions. You can see all the products that you have saved here. If you want to buy it, you can see the on order. You can check the orders in the order pages and the card pages for the payment. And also you can go to the password to change your password. So more functions will be shown in the video.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but your time is almost over.
Okay, okay. So I will share the demos into the website, and you can check also on in the online in the C4CY website. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Are there any questions? Does anyone have any questions for Yang?
I have a quick question. Thank you very much, Young. Very interesting presentation and good job with the demo. Did you use any single sign-on services for the authentication? Or
Single sign-ons? What kind of you mean?
how was the authentication done in your service?
Sorry, application. Can you
So
say again? Sorry.
yeah, sure. So the login, when you want to log into your service, how do you log in?
Okay.
Do you
So the functions designed for the login pages, well, when you just register readers, it's just a simple login functions designed here. So all the data from the registration part pages will be stored into the to the MySQL or the database connected. So when you are logging, so it's just to check functions to check is your usernames in the databases or and if it match to match to the password. So in the future works, we will design we use the JWT security component to confirm and to ensure the securities of our users or for these sections, because this time our project will be continue later for further question for the further works. So it's just a simple use the JWT functions to protect, and it's to match to the usernames and the password in the databases to for the login sections. That's it.
great? Great. Just one recommendation: look into single sign-on for the authentication of your project. That will make your job much easier.
Thank you, Ani. I will. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, great. Are there any more questions? No. All right. Well, this brings our symposium to the end. Great job, guys. Really cool project.
Thank you, Sakshi. Thank you.
Thanks, Yang.
Congratulations, guys. We have graduated. Thank you, guys. See you later. See you later. Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thank you.
Zaki.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye
Bye.
now.
Have a good summer, guys.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you. Thanks, Sakshi, for all your help.
Thanks, Ellie. Thank you so
Yep.
much.
Bye now.
Bye.